All right, guys, this necessarily isn't an editorial. It's just something I want to ask you guys something, and then we can discuss it in the comments. Two. All right, gang, this isn't an editorial. This is just a discussion. I'm going to ask you guys something, and we can discuss it in the comments section below. You're probably going to hear a bunch of noise. I got a bird tweeting. I got my AC going. It's hot outside, and I don't have my windscreen on. But I want to ask you guys something. As far as how the country feels right now, does anybody out there feel different since May 25th? Does anybody out there feel a little different May 25th, 26th? Does anybody feel like you see things in a different light? May 25th, I believe it was, when George Floyd was murdered by Derek Chauvin. And I think it was the 26th or 27th when they started rioting. From that point, that week, through June 2nd, something changed in me, in my emotions and in my makeup, my mind. I don't know, I had an epiphany, and I had kind of a waking up, and it didn't really happen, or it didn't really hit me hard until after I recorded the protest fight here in Yucaipa, where I have a video called Yucaipa Protest Turns Violent. And the reaction I got from the community on that video, and then reflecting, I went back and watched YouTube videos on all the protests in Minneapolis and Santa Monica and Los Angeles and New York and DC and all over the, Atlanta. And I was watching all these protests, and I don't know, something happened. I can't explain it. I know some people are going to say, you're crazy. That's what it is. I don't know. I feel different. And I'm going to try to explain it, but I'm trying to nail down a feeling, and that's hard to do. But I feel a couple of things. One, that maybe I need to give a little bit more appreciation to law enforcement officers. And I'm not talking about those that are, bad cops. Law enforcement officers that are bullies or use their badge for authoritarian purposes instead of public service. Cops that are intimidators, violate civil rights, violate departmental policy. You're not getting a pass. I'm still going to be on you cops. But I think sometimes I've been a little harsh in my judgment of all law enforcement officers. I said a few times I don't trust cops anymore. And I was just kind of losing my trust in them because of the bad cops, putting flashlight in your eyes, which can damage your retinas. Turning their car spotlight, and then when you walk up the street, turning the car spotlight so that it's in your face the whole time. Those kind of cops took away my trust from law enforcement. But after the week of May 25th through June 2nd, something changed. And I can't explain it. And I feel like I owe it to law enforcement officers who are really trying to do good to be a little bit easier in my judgment of them. But also, and here's the bigger feeling that I'm getting from, I got an epiphany, an awakening that I'm not doing enough for the community to make sure they're not being brutalized or racially profiled or have their civil rights violated by law enforcement officers in the area. And I'm not just talking about one city. I'm talking about all around here. I just feel like I could do more. Rialto that one night, when I walked up, they were searching the car. And as soon as I got there with my camera, within 2 minutes, and I'm not joking because the video is only like 5 minutes long, they closed up the car, took the black man out of the car, unhandcuffed the black man, said, I'm not going to give you a citation tonight. Okay, I'm going to give you a break. And then let him go, and they drove off. And I know that wasn't a coincidence that I just happened to get there at that time. They saw my camera and said, let's let this guy go. The woman here in Yucaipa, not to knock any Yucaipa deputies, but the woman here in Yucaipa, when the deputies were talking to her and when they left, she walked up to me in tears and said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I felt so much safer with you here. Thank you. I was so scared. And I don't know that she had any reason to be scared of the police here, but I don't know. On June 1st, when I video recorded that protest, and then all of the national protests that whole week, I've got some kind of awakening, and I'm getting somewhere. So hold on, don't tune away yet. And I'm almost done too. But I just see the world differently now, and I feel an obligation that I got to get out there and record more, because people are expecting somebody with a camera to tell the truth. Because people we're at odds with each other. Cops are hurting people. Finally, they fired one of the cops from the Breonna Taylor incident. That was the girl where they went into the house for her boyfriend or fiance for drugs. She thought it was a home invasion. She got fatally shot. She was an EMT. And they found no drugs. He was fired. No charges that I know of have been brought against any of those cops, but one has finally been fired. That was in Louisville, Kentucky. And so I just feel like I have this weight on my back, this yoke, as you will. I have a yoke on. Now, a yoke is something you put over an ox. Back in the Bible days, they put it over the oxen. And the yoke, as the oxen went, he would pull that yoke and it would pull the plow across the ground. And that's how I feel right now. Like I have a yoke on and I have work to do. And I got to get out there and do the work, because people are dying at the hands of police. People are being violated at the hands of police. And that's not a blanket statement for every cop. But there are law enforcement officers who see this and they're not saying anything. Why? 2 cops slap an intoxicated man around. One cop did it. One's like, yeah, what's up? And he's punching the guy while a female cop stands behind him. Both of them wrote a false report while a third cop didn't say a damn thing. That's 3 bad cops. That's not 2 bad cops and then 1 cop that just didn't get involved. Yeah, he didn't get involved. That's 3 bad cops. And my point is, had there been no camera, there would have been no incident. And so this month of June, I have never felt a burden to get out there and tell the truth like I have felt this month. And I'm just wondering, does anybody else feel that? But I'm going to go through something real quick and then I'm done. So I was looking for an editorial today on Father's Day, and I couldn't really find a specific editorial. Here's what I found. A shooting in the Seattle Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, which is now CHOP, Capitol Hill Original Poke, or I don't know, CHOP, but it was Chaz. There was a shooting there, 1 dead, 1 wounded, and the crowd prevented emergency vehicles from getting to the victims. Minneapolis, a shooting, 1 dead, 11 wounded. Syracuse, New York, 9 shot and wounded at a party. Detroit, 11 other incidences involving city's police department are under investigation for the assault of a reporter there. And they're saying, there's an article here too by the New York Times, if you want to Google it. I'm going to say it slow and you can just put what I say in the Google search. Why the bad cop theory won't fix racist police. They're saying it's not a bad cop or a racist cop issue. They're saying it's an organizational issue across the U.S. that law enforcement in general in the United States is designed to, how do I say it? Suppress an economical group like minorities. It's not a racist cop problem, they're saying. They're saying it's a departmental policy problem across the nation. That's an interesting read. I didn't read it all. I just kind of skimmed through some paragraphs. That's kind of maybe an interesting read. I think there was another shooting that I saw. Yeah. Cleveland. 6 men hurt in 6 separate shootings in 24 hours, Cleveland police say. I mean, what in the world? Fontana, last night, I have a video on I covered a shooting at a house party where a young man was shot in the street there in Fontana, California, just last night. I'm driving through Rialto. I see 2 police cars with the lights going. They have yellow tape all around the block there to shut off the street. Possibly another shooting in Rialto. What is going on? We're worried about cops killing people, and now we're killing each other? Are you guys feeling this, what I feel like? Are you seeing the world in a new light now this month? Or is it like, oh, been happening for years, life goes on? I don't know. I just can't. For some reason, I feel so, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I need a therapist. But I just feel like I'm burdened right now to get out there and record and tell the truth. Look, something's going on over here. Let's go see what these cops are doing. And like I said last night in one of my videos, I believe it was last night. It may have been the other night before. But I had said in one of my videos in the last couple of nights, 99 out of 100 times you're going to get cops that are doing their job. Like the cops in Rialto last night. The lady was double parked with her flashers going. It was a really narrow street and people were parked against the curb on either side anyway. And they said, you need to park your car. You can't sit here. You need to pull up and park. I mean, what I'm saying is those cops are doing a good thing. Because I'll tell you right now, I hate that shit. You come up and you almost hit somebody. You're like, yo, you going to go? And then when you try to go around them, you see headlights coming up the street. And you're like, fuck. So I hate that double park thing. So what I'm saying is, yeah, there are a lot of police officers that are just trying to do their job. But that one time out of 100 when somebody gets beat because they're handcuffed and the cop's just like, you know, the San Marino County Sheriff's deputy that stomped on the guy's head in Paris Hill Park. The guy in Boyle Heights, because the guy was mouthing off to him, he went up there and beat the shit out of him. The guy in Garfield Heights, Ohio, just walking down the street, schizophrenic, bipolar guy, gets the shit beat out of him because he doesn't know what's going on. And instead of trying to de-escalate and tell him what's going on, the cops beat the crap out of him. I feel that burden that I've got to record for those reasons. And I have never felt the burden like I feel it this month. It's just overwhelming. And I want to know if you guys feel that as well, or am I just losing it? Let me know. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers from coast to coast on this Father's Day. Thank you guys for listening.